There you are. Look at there. Okay. So before you ride, you gotta do your T clocks. So T clocks is your pre checkout checklist. So you've got basically T clocks like that. Tires, wheels, conditions good. Yeah, I mean hasn't been ridden that much. Brakes. Do the brakes work? So that's front brake. That's rear brake. So if you're gonna slam on anything, always front brake. Because if you slam on this, it has ABS, but if you slam on that and you lose all traction on your rear, you're for sure going down. If you slam on this, your weight shifts forward to the front wheel where your steering is anyway. And again, it has ABS, so it shouldn't lock up. But yeah, if you're going to panic anything, you always panic front brake more than you're going to. It's the opposite of like a car. Like people slam on that thinking like a car brake or whatever, and yeah, you lose your traction in your rear. You for sure go down. Brakes work. Handlebars, are they straight? Do they turn freely? The hand grips and bar ends are secure. There's no bar ends, it's just the edge of the grip. Levers and pedals, are they bent or cracked or broken? Hoses, are there any hoses with cracks, leaks, bulges, chafing? Hopefully not. Throttle, can you move the throttle back and forward and it doesn't get stuck? It's not sticky, so you accidentally hold. Yeah. Okay, battery. So if we turn the key on, yep, yep. Headlight, it's working. This is your bright, which is on. So up, on, down, off. That's the horn. It's very loud. Let's see. What do we got? Brake light. Actually, I would assume, yeah, brake lights working. Turn signals. So to indicate, you've got left here. Shows that you're on. You can kind of see that it's on. Your rear's on. And then you just, yep, so that would be right. Now your right's on. And if you just push in, yep, neither of them are on. So your blinkers are now off. All the switches correct or function correctly. Yeah, they do. Yep, so that's kill. You can kill it with that. I never do. I always just turn it off with the key, but you can switch it like that. And then also, if it's like that, it won't start. So if you're wondering why it won't start, you have to put it to that. Mirrors, these mirrors suck. So I have bar end mirrors, but if there's a risk that you're going to immediately tip this over, you just break the mirror immediately. So I didn't put them on yet. But I do have bar end mirrors that would be a little bit wider so you can actually see out of them. Because to be able to see out of this behind you, you kind of have to like tuck your shoulder. It's pretty terrible. These are pretty awful mirrors, stock. So I have some extra mirrors. Lenses, reflectors, yeah, wiring, good. Oil, there is a little sight right here. So if you put the bike straight up and down, you can see that there's oil. There's no leaks. So that's we've got most of the way down. Tires and wheels is T. C, controls. L, lights and electronics. O, oil and other fluids. C, chassis, the frame. Does it have any cracks? Suspension, if you lean forward, feels, yeah. The chain tension. Got just a little bit of play. Honestly, could maybe use a tiny bit more tension, but it's fine. Stands. Does the stand work? It does for sure. So actually, if you hop off, I'll show you something real quick. So if you want to turn the bike in like a tight spot to get out of somewhere, instead of like going forward and back and forward and back and forward and back, this thing's strong as hell. Like you can pull this towards you and put the weight on the stand and completely turn the bike around just right on the stand. So yeah, so that's like a little trick. Okay, so bike check's done. Okay, so to actually start it, it's just this, but it won't start because kickstand's down and it's in first gear. It has a kickstand switch. So if you put the kickstand down before you either kill it here or turn it off or whatever, that will also turn the bike off. Okay, so the basics, I guess we can start it. So hop on. There you go. So all the way down is in first gear. If you go just a little bit up, like a half click up, you'll see a neutral go on. Stand's kind of in the way, but yeah, you're in neutral. So now, yeah, you can, and try the kickstand. I'm curious if the kickstand, okay, yeah, so as long as you're in neutral, that won't kill it. Okay, so go ahead and kill it, your choice of way. Okay, put the kickstand down real quick. Okay, so throttle obviously makes the engine go vroom vroom, right? But there's no power when you're in neutral or when the clutch is pulled. This is how fast you go, not this. You can crank this all the way up and you're going nowhere, right? If you drop this, that's how you do a wheelie. And if you're not ready for it, that's how you fall off. So always very smooth on these levers. Same with the brake. We don't want to fucking slam into the brake. Even though it has ABS, we still don't want to slam the brake. So yeah, we will fuck around with clutch control. They call it the friction zone. So all the way in to like here or whatever is no different. There's still no power going from the motor to the wheel yet. There's a zone where it actually engages. The clutch is actually engaged and putting the power to the wheel. So that's what we're gonna practice first before anything, is just very slowly feeling the bike move forward and then pull it back in. I don't want you actually taking off yet. So just letting go, and this is completely without throttle, because even at idle, we have, the engine's moving, right? So if you slowly let this out, you'll start feeling it move forward, and then just pull it back in. So we'll do that first. Kickstand up. There you go. Okay. Kill it real quick. Okay, so have you driven stick on anything, like vehicle or quads? Okay, yeah, so you're gonna be familiar. Same thing. So if you let this all the way out and give zero throttle, you'll kill it, right? Because, yeah. So if we want, we can try to pick your feet up. Like this part's pretty straightforward as long as you kind of know where it feels, and as long as you're smooth with it. You can try adding a little bit of throttle. I would keep both of your feet still very close to the ground, so you can just, ride with your feet just slightly above the ground. If we're going to move forward and you actually want to get a little bit of speed, when you go to stop, just like, a vehicle, anything else, you got to pull that clutch or you'll kill it. And you'll go very lightly on the brake. This brake goes a little bit, goes a long way. So if you want to try that, we'll start it up. We'll give it just a little bit of throttle. Do that same friction zone, start letting it out. And you can try to just pick your feet up just slightly. Move forward until you feel comfortable. Yank this back in and very lightly on the brake. Is that a lot all at once? Are you ready for that, you think? Okay. How'd that feel? Okay, we haven't talked about turning yet, but I mean, you watch the video. It's very similar to a bike. Here, shut it off real quick. And you can leave it, I always just leave it in first gear. It'll also prevent it from rolling if you're on a slight angle or whatever. So when you're turning, especially if you're turning tight and you aren't going fast enough and you turn sharp, you will absolutely fall over. So when you're turning and not going fast enough, a lot of people will like panic and they'll pull the clutch or the brake or whatever. You absolutely will dump the bike over. When you're turning, unless you're obviously going to hit something, what you actually need to do is give it ever so slightly more power, because like the video showed, if you're turning sharp and you're giving it gas to go forward, the bike's going to try to stand itself up. It's not going to try to fall over, right? That's showed you the whole physics of it. So if you actually give it more gas, the bike will actually want to go forward and it will straighten it back up. So all this to say, if you're leaning pretty hard, do not panic pull every fucking lever while you're leaned way over, because you're just instantly going to fall. Also, until you get familiar with it, turn with your feet very close to the ground. At least, the foot that you're turning towards. Normally this is the opposite. Eventually you would never want to put your foot down, but we're going to go super slow for now. But normally, yeah, if you're putting your foot down, you're doing something wrong. This is not like up in the woods and like, you know what I mean? Like on just driving on the street, you should never be putting your foot down. You should be able to do a nice tight turn, and this is going to control your speed. And yeah, so we can try turning. I would try very, very wide turns at first. Don't go crazy with a super tight turn. Like if your handlebars are turned all the way, you're probably too tight for now. We'll just try a little bit wider. So yeah, if you want to do the same thing that you did before, really smooth clutch control, just a little bit of gas is needed. Go forward until you decide you're ready to turn. And just remember, if you feel like you're tipping, you actually need more speed, not less. But if you drop the clutch and you give it all the power in the world, you will absolutely go forward, and you'll go, yeah, I guess we're trying to do this where it's open so you won't go into something. But yeah, if you're going towards that van and you're trying to turn before it and you put all the power to the wheel, all of a sudden you're going to go straight into it. I think that's obvious, but yeah. Anyway, go for it. Do whatever you're comfortable with so far. So even smoother on it, because you should feel if it's gonna die, you can pull the clutch in and you'll save it, right? Really, really smooth. Yeah, really smooth on every lever.
Yeah, I didn't go that fast without any gas at all.
Yeah, yep. Yep, so really smooth off and on the clutch. If you pull it all of a sudden when you have, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you grab anything frantically, any brake lever, anything, you're going to dramatically change what the bike is doing. And if you're not ready for that, yeah, you'll throw yourself into handlebars or whatever if you brake super hard, or if you drop the clutch and you got a lot of gas in it, you're going to get thrown back and you're not ready for that. And then you have whiskey throttle. So what that is when you have a little bit of gas, but you get thrown backwards and now you have a lot of gas. So you just do this until you lose control and you hit something or you fall off. So when you're holding the bar, when you're holding this, go ahead and grab both. So if I shove you, you want to be loose like a chicken head, you know, like a chicken, like no matter how you move it or whatever, you want to be really light. You don't need a heavy grip on these, right? Because the bike will go forward and pretty much hold itself up. So you can ride without any hands. So these, the fuck was that? Fuel, maybe. So yeah, you can be really light on these because you shouldn't be gripping for dear life, because this thing will keep itself upright, and when you go to turn, you don't need a whole lot. You can push just a little bit to get it to turn quite a bit. Yeah, so keep that in mind. If you're really far stretched, try to move a little bit forward. That way you have room to move backward, because if you did accidentally give it a little bit too much, right? You drop this a little too fast and you start moving backward, you want your arms to be able to move forward, because if you're already riding like this and you get pulled, like, you for sure are gonna whiskey throttle. So yeah, just be really loose where you can basically hold on to both bars, and you should be able to move your body forward, back, side to side without changing how much. So let's actually do that. Start it up, hold the throttle at a certain position, and then literally move your body around without changing how much you're controlling the throttle. Does that make sense? So try holding the throttle, just open a little bit. Just hold it at a position. Hold it right there. And then move your body around the bike. Like, move your chest forward and your back without changing how much throttle is being given. Left to right. Yep. So that's how loose you should be on the throttle. You should not be, yeah. And then, yeah. And then if you do accidentally, like, hit a bump, or yeah, you aren't perfect yet on this and you let out a little too fast or whatever, you've got loose arms, loose hands. You're not just gonna death grip this all the way stretched out and just fucking go into whatever, that fire hydrant. So what else? So position for gripping. So you don't want to be like up against this and gripping real hard. You can grip it real loose and almost like an ice cream cone, like you're holding an ice cream cone. So yeah, I guess take everything you've learned so far and do some circles if you're comfortable. Is this thing still going? Yeah. Oh, we're at 20 minutes. So real smooth. Yep. Yeah, that's good. Yep. Here, come pull into a spot real quick. Yeah. You see how little brake is needed to get that thing to stop? When you're going slow speed, those will grip hard and throw you right into the handlebars if you take it too hard. Yeah, and then when you stop, you typically want to stop upright. You want to stop upright with your tires straight. If you're leaning or your tires real hard and you brake hard, that's a good way to dump it too. So when you're, done doing your little circles and you're ready to come to a stop, bike upright with the tire straight, and then you did fine. Yeah, real smooth on the brake and clutch in so you don't kill it. Yeah, it's good. So I think you could, if you wanted, we could practice just doing a circle or maybe a figure eight so that you get both directions in. Just do like a figure eight, and I'll tell you stop, and wherever you're at, if you're in a turn, you'll lean the bike upright, straighten the wheel, and come to a smooth stop. So don't slam on the brake or whatever. You want to be able to stop quickly because something might be happening. There's a reason why we're needing to stop. But what we don't want to do is keep it turned, keep it leaned, and slam on everything. We want to turn the bike upright, looking straight, and nice and firm so that we're not really smoothly stopping. This is an emergency stop, but still smooth. Even in emergency, you still want to be firmer, slowly. Does that make sense? So if you want to do that, do that. I guess find a figure eight to do. So try to tighten up your figure eight. Just tighten up a little bit. There you go. There you go. So just keep in mind, remember, if you feel like you're tipping and you're going to start going slow as you go around a corner, you always lose speed. Just remember, you want to go faster, not slower. If you're tipping, yeah. You kind of let out a little bit to give it more speed. Perfect. Stop. There you go. Okay, so now do your figure eight. Try to put both feet up on the pegs now. Okay, well, let's leave the cars alone. Stop. There you go. Scared me a little bit with the... Yeah, so smooth on everything. Smooth on putting the handlebars. We don't obviously want to yank it to get back straight, but yeah, that was good. Yep, so you're stopping with the wheel turn. That's what happened. That's why you're dumping it.
This is a lighter bike.
Yeah, that's 100 pounds lighter than my big bike. You probably would have been on the ground if you were on my other bike. Okay, so if you want to keep practicing, the next thing would be stopping even quicker. So really feeling how much you can yank on this thing, and especially with ABS, you can stop quickly, but you need to be ready for it. So get up to some speed, have both feet on the pegs, not anticipating, obviously, that you have to do an emergency stop. You're not expecting it, it's an emergency. And then you can pull the clutch, and not all at once, but firmer until you're real tight. Does that make sense? So we can do that in first gear, and then we can move on to actually getting up to shifting into a second gear and then stopping at an even faster pace, if you want to. Meep, meep. Make sure the wheel's straight. There you go. Yep, just when you're coming to a stop, make sure that you're upright and the wheel's straight. your wheel was just turned just a little bit, so I saw you tip a little bit. But yeah, if you're coming to a stop, you want to be upright as possible and wheel straight as possible. You didn't really get much to speed. You're still doing the figure eight. If you want, you could take like the longer row, get up to, you know, some higher RPMs, get a little bit of speed, go up to, you know, 15 or whatever, and come to a nice quick stop at 15. And you don't have to start very quickly. Like, get up to 15 and feel how long it takes you to stop with a little bit of pressure. Then see how much more you can, how much faster you can stop. So your very first stop, make it nice and smooth at 15, and then you can do a couple more passes, trying to go a little bit faster and try to stop at a shorter pace, or a shorter distance. And of course, if you're done at any point, let me know. It's probably cold. How's that feeling? You want to go a little faster? Go into second? So you thought it would throw you more forward? Well, you're also anticipating it. You're the one holding the brake, so you can obviously lean your body back a little bit. Not fucking throw yourself back like a rodeo or anything, but you can kind of counteract a little bit by, you know, you're not going to fucking let yourself smack into the handlebar just because you're holding. What's that?
I guess I'm doing it subconsciously.
Yeah. What's that?
How do you choose when to downshift to slow down and when to brake?
So if you're wanting to use like engine braking, I would not do it into first gear.
Okay.
If you're going into first gear engine braking, you really need to like be able to rev match. So you need to know how much throttle, because you're going to go into pretty high RPM. And if you don't rev match, and if you aren't smooth on the clutch, even if you are smooth on the clutch, you get kind of a jolt. You get kind of a quick slow down. So I don't, not into first. If you're at fourth and you want to engine brake into third, you can give a little bit more gas than you are now. So you're revving up the engine to match what RPM that would be when I go down into third.
Okay.
So you're rev matching, and then you're slowly letting off the clutch. And if you have the right revs, you will very smoothly go into that lower gear. If you don't do any rev matching and you don't do this smoothly, you will feel like you just hit the brakes. So if you're in second and you need to emergency stop, it's a lot all at once, but you'd pull in the clutch, you're going to drop down to first, you're going to, not all at once, but firmer, 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 smoothly, brake hard, put your feet down, and you're now in first. So if you needed to take off again, you're already there. But the clutch is in the whole time you're in first when you're braking from second. Does that make sense? That would be very different if you're not coming to a stop, but you're just going from fourth down to third gear. Then yes, you absolutely can rev match, drop the clutch slowly into your new gear, and very, very smoothly go from fourth to third gear. And especially if you are already going that slow. So let's say, just for easy math, you go from first gear to second at 10, and then 20, and then 30. So if you know, okay, 30 to 40 is my third gear, and I go up to fourth gear in 40, but okay, now the car's slowing down in front of me, I'm going back down to 30, I want to be in third gear. You don't have to really do a whole lot of rev matching. You don't need to really crank on it, because you're already at the speed that you would be in that gear anyway. And the opposite is, if you are way too high of a gear, you're in fourth, but you should be in second, and you go to crank on the gas, you're at such a low RPM, making such low power, you're bogging down, and you're hurting the engine. It'd be like when you ride a bicycle and you're in like the way wrong gear and it feels so fucking hard to get going. You're causing that much more wear on your engine trying to, start this bike off from fucking 0 to 10 in third gear. Like, that is a terrible idea, right? So yeah, you don't really need to worry. Long answer, you don't need to worry about it when you're going from second to a stop. That really only matters when you're going 40 down to 30 miles per hour and you need to go back down to third. Then you could use some engine braking. The only bad thing about engine braking on a motorcycle is the person behind you doesn't see any brake lights if you're not actually using your brake. So even if you're engine braking, you can still assist with a tiny bit just to actuate your fucking brake light, just because that's a safer way to stop when there's a vehicle right behind you. They don't know you're slowing down if all you're doing is rev batching and going third, second, first, and they didn't see you a single brake light. So
I was slowing down at the end of the turn. I was pushing down into first, and then I could feel when I was letting go of this, making like
you felt like it jar forward.
not horrible, but
Yeah, you can feel it though, right? So you can. I wouldn't. I don't know if you need to try it yet. But what you can do is, if you're going slow enough and you want to go back down into first, you can rev match. So give it a little bit more gas, and then very slowly let out of the clutch into first gear, but very slowly. Because if you're quick on it, that jolt will even be that much more dramatic, right? But I don't know if you need to do all that. If anything, what you would want to do, what would be more safe right away, is take the whole thing in second, and if you find that you're too slow out of it and you don't have enough power, which you probably do in second anyway, then you could downshift when you're going straight again. And that's just going to be a lot more safe, because if you do accidentally drop it too fast and you feel that jolt and your handlebars are turned and you're leaning, you're just going to dump it, right? So yeah, when you go around the corner, just do it in second. Feel it. If I'm okay, I'm going fast enough, it's not bogging down, just ride out of it in second. First gear is not very long. These are very quick gears. It only goes, 70 miles per hour.
So
Like,
do the whole parking lot in second, right?
you can do the whole parking lot in first or second, absolutely, yeah. Yep.
So I was needlessly shifting.
What's that?
So I was needlessly shifting.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, when you turn around a corner, you are going to lose speed. So if anything, what you can do is, instead of pulling the clutch, going to first and losing all that power, and then, having to worry about rev matching and blah, 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 just give it a little bit of gas in the turn, a little bit, because if you give it too much, your bike's going to want to fucking go forward and you're going to lose the turn that you're trying to make. But a little bit of gas just to maintain your speed. And then when you get out of it, you don't feel so slow. You don't feel like you're needing to be in first. Just take that corner faster. Oh, yep. I don't know exactly. Yeah. The tape was because I had it taped in my helmet, actually. I was testing it out. Yeah, I sent you the video. Yeah. And I was, just babbling.
Not working right
Yeah,
now.
I didn't know what to say. I was just being dumb.
Testing.
Yeah, testing. 1, 2, 3. I say that a lot. Oh, marked. I accidentally marked this spot, apparently. We've been going for 43 minutes. Do you feel like you're 43 minutes better of a rider?
Yeah, it's definitely getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
The only difference between this and the quad. And then the whole,
The leaning to turn is quite a bit different on a quad.
well, the more gas to stay upright has definitely kicked in a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it was going to like
And not necessarily more gas to stay upright, because remember, this doesn't actually control how much power. This is what's going to control if you're speeding up or slowing down, right? Because because if you crank this, you could spin this all day long and you're going to fall over because you didn't actually provide any of that power it's making to the wheel.
Well, I guess over here it was this, and then over there it was bogging down. So
Yep. Yeah, you might feel it bogging down in second, taking the corner real slow. I could see that, yeah. And then wanting to give it. And that's what I was saying. Yeah, just you take the corner a little bit faster if you need to. The other thing is, you can try coming to a stop before you go around that. And then you can go from second, hit the first. So just hold the clutch the whole time. Don't worry about releasing it until you've come to a complete stop. Then you're going from scratch again. How you feeling? You wanting to ride it some more? Or what? Yeah. Okay, go for it. Don't turn the, make sure the wheel's straight. And then did you hear the engine rev up? So that was because when you went forward, you weren't loose enough. So you went like this. Is basically what happened. Does that make sense? You leaned forward, but your wrist went back, so you gave it gas. And luckily, obviously, the clutch was pulled, so that wasn't a worry. But obviously, if you actually had it in gear and that same thing happened, you hit a bump or something, and your wrist went back, well, now you're gonna go this way and this way afterward.
So you want completely let off the gas and you go over something that's going to give you a bump, right?
Not necessarily. You just have to know. I mean, ideally, if you know the bump is coming, then you can really loosen up and you can really be ready for it. And yeah, you just always want to be light on this so that if you do accidentally hit a bump or you do accidentally, this can be a bump. Technically, it feels like a bump when you accidentally let this go too fast or hit this too fast. All of those are bumpy feelings. It's throwing you forward, back, left, right, whatever. So you just always want to be light on it. Yeah, I don't know if you did it yet, but if you want to get up into second and practice that going into first, holding the clutch the whole time, and coming to a nice quick stop from like 20 now in second. Does that make sense? So if you wanted to, you could do that. Just obviously make sure that your tire's straight. Don't do that on a corner. If you have to emergency stop in a corner, so you're about to round that and you realize, oh fuck, I didn't actually look and there's a car coming, straighten the wheel before you brake. You want to be upright. So they teach that in the class too. They have you go around a corner and then they randomly tell you when to stop. And what they're expecting you to do is go from lean, handlebars turned, to upright, straight, brake smoothly, but quickly. So I wouldn't practice the braking in a turn yet, but just get up to speed, go up to like 20 in second, and it's a lot of stuff all at once, but you're pulling the clutch, downshifting to first, and firm but smoothly braking quickly. If you want to try all that. Now just practice stopping even faster from second, from the 20 or whatever. Like that was a really long, slow stop. If that was an emergency, you definitely hit that thing you were trying to avoid. There you go. Are you in first? You forgot to shift. It's a lot to remember all at once, for sure. Yep, so it's everything. It's pulling the clutch, it's shifting down, it's smooth but firm on the brake. Yeah, feeling good? I'm going to assume more confident than you were before today. Nice. Cool. All right, stop this shit.